Greetings! A few months back, I reviewed one of the least expensive 51.2 volt 100 amp hour server rack batteries with a 10-year warranty, and that was from the brand EcoWorthy. They have since updated this battery twice since that review in March, and this is the new version 3, and it comes with a bunch of updates and a claimed UL listing at an even lower sub $850 price point. But is it any good? Let's find out.
HOBOTECH.
For those that don't know what kind of battery this is, it's called a server rack battery. It's designed for stationary home use, such as in a solar battery bank or backup power system, and it's typically installed in a stationary or semi-permanent metal rack of some kind similar to a computer server rack, hence the name. Now, while you can use these in a mobile situation like in an RV or van build, they're not designed for high vibration environments like standard drop-in LFP batteries are. These are also not IP rated for use in wet environments. So if used in an outdoor or mobile environment, you do so at your own risk. And with that disclaimer out of the way, what's inside the EcoWorthy is a 51.2 volt 100 amp hour or 5120 watt hour lithium iron phosphate battery made with grade A prismatic cells from REPT, rocking 6,000 cycles at 80% depth of discharge. Although this is technically called a 48 volt battery, it's actually 51.2 nominal. And this is the current standard for server rack batteries in 2025. But note that some older models were actually 48 volts nominal. And there's a big difference between the two because you can't pair up a 48 volt nominal with a 51.2 nominal. You can tell immediately which is which by the battery's rated watt hour capacity. If it's 4,800 watt hours, it's a 48 volt battery. If it's 5120 watt hours, it's a 51.2 volt nominal. These different batteries use different number of cells in series and therefore require different charger settings. So keep this in mind if you plan on adding this battery to an existing battery bank. Now, as for size and weight, this is our first difference with the V1. These are slightly larger and heavier than the V1 at 22 by 19 by 5.6 inches tall, weighing in at 97 pounds. So it's a half an inch taller and 2 pounds heavier. Unlike the V1, the handles are optional. You can see I haven't installed them yet. They are included. The handles do make it a lot easier to move around, but it does add some bulk. If you're putting these on the server rack, you will need to install those handles as they also double as brackets. Now, this does have a built-in BMS or battery management system. It's rated at 100 amps for both charge and discharge, and at 51.2 volts, since you take volts times amps, if you took my university course, you know that equals watts. So that means this can handle over 5,100 watts of both charging and discharging per battery in parallel. So if you have a 5,000 watt inverter, you only need one of these batteries. If you have a 10,000 watt inverter, you'd need 2 batteries, so on and so forth. Now, as for series and parallel ability, here's where the next change was made. You are no longer limited to only 16 batteries in parallel. That limit has now been doubled by adding 2 additional dip switches in the configuration. So now you can assign up to 32 individual batteries in parallel. That's 164 kilowatt hours, or enough to run your own Bitcoin mining operation or a cluster of AI NPUs inside your bug-out bunker after Bill Gates succeeds in his plan to block out the sun. And I even have to make that last part up. As previously mentioned, these batteries do not have an IP rating, so they are only be able to be used indoors or in a dry location. They come standard in a full metal case, making them quite durable and naturally fire resistant. However, these batteries do feature built-in protections such as short circuit, under and over voltage, under and over current, and over and under temperature. As for features, this battery also has the typical RS-485 CAN bus and RS-232 communication ports. They're all up front here. And the BMS also has automatic cell balancing built in. So yes, this has a built-in cell balancer. That means as long as you fully charge the battery all the way up on occasion, those cells should never go out of balance. So you probably want to know what's all the difference is between version 1 and version 3. Okay, first we mentioned already that the height was increased to 140 millimeters. The dip switches were upgraded from 4-bit to 6-bit, so now they support 32 batteries in parallel. The breaker, if you noticed, is now a dual pole, so it actually has a double breaker with a shunt trip mechanism providing dual protection for the battery system. The terminal layouts have been swapped, so red used to be here and black was over here. Now they have been reversed. And they did that because that's the standard. The RS-232 interface now includes a 14-volt power output. This also now includes external display screen support, so you can add a screen to this if you want to. Inside, it was upgraded to telescopic copper bus bars between the cells, and they improved the internal cable layout for better performance and reliability. And we'll see that in a moment. And as for the warranty, here is what still blows my mind. Even at their sub $850 price point, they can still offer a 10-year manufacturer's warranty, and this is on a budget battery. Take that, EG4. There's still one caveat to the eco-worthy battery, and that it is still awaiting UL listing. Now, they originally said they were going to get it by the end of April, but they had to apparently make changes to the battery first. Now, with version 3, I'm told from their representative, I just asked them yesterday, that it should be UL listed by the end of this month or July 2025. And after taking a look inside this thing, I have zero concerns about the build quality or safety. In fact, it's clearly improved internally from version 1, as we'll see in a moment. And of course, we took the eco-worthy into my secret lab for a single-fisted battery capacity test. And here were the results. On the battery capacity test, it scored 100.7 amp hours. That was on its first discharge cycle. Once you discharge this 3 to 5 times, it will have a little bit more capacity than that. So it's likely to improve. I didn't have time to do that, but you're guaranteed at least 100 right off the bat. BMS Test, this is where we test the discharge rate of the battery management system inside the battery. I have this 240 volt SunGold power inverter. If you're curious about that, I have a review on it separately. So this battery can do 100 amps continuous discharge or 120 amps for up to 2 seconds. So I got it running at 75 amps. I'm going to add additional loads, and we're going to see how long it takes for this thing to shut down. All right, adding additional load. 110. 131. Yeah, I couldn't even count it too, so definitely shut down in time. As for the 5-minute discharge test, we were able to run 100 amps for over 5 minutes, and that passed. As for the BMS charge rate test, we were able to charge at 105 amps for over 5 minutes, and that was a pass. Now, as for the charge below freezing or overheating test, I didn't bother retesting this, as I did that in version 1, and both hot and cold temperature shut-off passed as designed. The JBD branded BMS in this battery is a slightly newer revision at version 1.23 versus 1.2 of the original model. So if it worked there, it's going to work here too. The sensors in this newer version are seriously glued down, and with my luck, I'd end up probably breaking them trying to pry them out of that glue. So didn't bother. It passed last time, it's going to pass again. I also want to show you everything that you get in the package. So you get, of course, the user manual, and I'll show you the specifications page here in a minute, but this is the updated manual for the version 3. You get a positive and a negative cable, so if you want to hook this up to additional batteries. You have the communication cable, which goes through the RS-485 in and out. You have the grounding cable, which goes to the grounding screw here. You have these updated connectors, so instead of connecting to the cable, they actually snap on to this plastic. So you snap it on, and then you can rotate it in any direction that you like. So you have your cables coming in and out in any direction. So they give you 4 of those, 2 red, 2 black. It also comes with a pair of brackets for handles, so if you want to put handles on this battery, I wish I would have known that before I put it up here on the table. Then they give you a bunch of extra screws. Let's check out if anything's different in this eco-worthy. Okay, if you remember when I took apart the other eco-worthy, it looked very similar to this. But I have to say this actually looks better built than the first version, and one of the reasons I say that is I peeled this back. This wasn't like this automatically, but I peeled this back and it's a thicker cable than what they were using before. Like, I'm fairly certain that before they were using 6-gauge cable, and this is the 2-gauge cable they supply to connect the batteries together, so that's 2-gauge. Put it up against that, that's actually a 4-gauge cable. It's no longer 6 or 8. It's actually a little bit thicker, and I noticed that right away. Look at all this zip-tied covering. It's all very, very well put together. They do have the negative split into 2, and that goes over here to the BMS in 2 different places. Look at how heavily they glued everything this time. Now, this glue is a lot thicker, and it's actually a much harder glue. I don't know if it's the same as they were using before, but this stuff is like really difficult to peel off. And they got it everywhere. I mean, pretty much anywhere that anything is tied down. It looks like they even glued the two batteries together there. That's interesting. But yeah, this is where the sensors are for the heating and cooling sensors. I'm not going to peel them off and test them because they worked last time. I believe this BMS is the same as it was before. I don't notice any difference in it whatsoever. I'll see if I can zoom in with my phone and get a picture of it anyway, just for anybody that's curious to see if it is different. I mean, look at how heavily all this stuff's glued in here. Everything is nicely well covered. Welds are nice. Everything is welded in here. Everything is properly color coded and labeled. Look, every single wire is labeled. Everything is zip tied. This thing is very professionally put together. And just like last time, they have this plastic cover on the inside in case you were to set something down too heavy or crush it, it's not going to short out. In fact, they have these big heavy metal bars here now, which would prevent, no matter how much weight you put on it, from ever touching any of these bus bars. So very nicely put together. This is a budget battery. This thing is barely $900 and it looks like $1 million. I really can't say anything else better about this battery. It is just a fantastic build. Now, they probably have the same cells as last time. I don't believe I'll be able to tell you what those cells are because I'd have to take the whole battery apart to find out, and I'm not willing to do that this time. Now, what about the price? I already said it's below $850. So the normal price is $869 on their website, but viewers of HOBOTECH, that's you, are getting another $30 off when using my discount code, bringing that price down to $839. This code is only valid until the end of the month, July 31st. And at 16 cents per watt hour, pretty sure I found one of the cheapest 51.2 volt, 100 amp hour server rack batteries with a 10-year warranty currently available on the market. That price includes shipping, which a lot of other brands and stores charge for. Last time I made the mistake of challenging viewers to find a less expensive 51 volt server rack battery with a 10-year warranty, and the ridiculous number of comments saying how much less you can buy drop-in 12 volt lithium batteries made me realize you should never ask the internet, or AI for that matter, for shopping advice. Let's just ignore the differences in voltage for a moment, comparing a basically dumb weather-sealed drop-in LFP battery meant for vehicle use. Compare that with a specially designed server rack battery meant to run huge home inverters with built-in communication ports and dip switches that talk to other batteries and communicate with inverters, and have that all sync up to a built-in Wi-Fi app and include a 10-year warranty to boot. You're not comparing apples to oranges. You're comparing a Cessna prop airplane to the space shuttle. Yeah, they both fly through the air, but that's really the last of the similarities between the two. And yes, this has an app if you missed the first review. So yes, this does have a full-on Bluetooth and Wi-Fi app. It's pretty decent. So what do I think about this third revision of the eco-worthy 100 amp hour battery? I think it's an even more insane value than it was before. So it's better and cheaper in only 4 months. It seems like all those doomsday scenarios for 2025 belong back in 2012 when the Mayans said the world was going to end. And if we're all going to be honest with ourselves here, I'd have a very hard time buying any other server rack battery brand for any legitimate reason. I mean, I suppose if you wanted something special like an EMP hardened battery or one that supports some off-brand inverter, or you simply can't get the install done without that UL listing sticker on the back, those would be a couple of reasons to spend more elsewhere. For me, I'll be buying a few more of these when it's time to expand my home backup system. And as for the DIY crowd, at this price, it doesn't even really make sense to even build your own from raw cells, because once you factor in a brand name BMS, which this has, copper wiring, and bus bars, which this has, the case, the labor, and then you still have to source grade A cells from China, and then you don't get a 10-year warranty with those. You're basically wasting your time when you can just buy this pre-made with a warranty, plug it in, and you're good to go. And of course, yes, the biggest question is going to be how long is EcoWorthy going to be around as a company to honor that warranty? Who knows, but does it really matter at this price and build quality? If the BMS inside dies, it's a few screws to take the cover off and replace it. LFP battery cells, especially these grade A ones, are extremely reliable. And this BMS is auto-balancing, so exceeding 6,000 cycles is very likely a reality. And if you're in the market, there's really no reason not to go for this battery. And if you're interested in the EcoWorthy, the link and discount code is going to be in the description of this video below. I'm also going to put a link here at the bottom of the screen. You can type in Along with a QR code you can scan with your mobile if you're watching me on TV. It'll take you on over to the Eco-Worthy store page where you can check out their latest offering. Thanks for watching, and until next time.
Odin commands you to like and subscribe, and clean my litter box.